So what was the scariest part about opening up a tattoo shop with the previous person versus now?
So when the first one that was open, I was actually terrified for the first 3 years because my background was banking. I was a bank manager for 12 years. I also managed a casino. I was a nurse. So I did jobs that had guaranteed paychecks. I knew what my check was going to be. I budgeted my money. It was good. Coming into the tattoo industry, not understanding what it was like, terrified me because I had no control over the money. And my brain worked differently. It was, okay, we have these bills, we need to make this much per day. I mean, I was breaking it down like a mathematician and trying to just make sense of it, right? And I had to learn, and it took me a long time to calm that part of me down of you could go, days without making any money, and then you could make it all up in one day. And it's kind of like a roller coaster, but you get used to it, so I don't freak out like that anymore. I'm comfortable and confident in knowing what I'm doing at this point. I learned all the hard lessons with the first shop, so I know what not to do this time around. So it doesn't stress me out like that anymore. But that was the scariest, was we're going to fail. This is always very terrifying to do, and what if we fail, we are failing. The big thing was failing my kids, because I came out here to show them never to give up, and to keep going no matter what life threw at you. And if I failed, it was gonna be like you never should have left. I really couldn't.
I feel that. Failure is not an option in my head.
Failure is never an option.
It's rough not to just quit, but you just gotta have that mentality. Keep going. And here I've learned that if you can't hustle, you ain't gonna make it here.
No. I mean, there are some people out there, unfortunately, that get lucky. I call it they're just lucky, and it's like, I don't know how you skate through life with no consequences. You just go make the worst mistakes and the worst choices, and put $10 in at the casino and win $5,000 or something. That's never happened to me.
Right.
I've had to work for everything my whole life, so nothing's ever been given to me, and I like that. I prefer to be that way. I don't want things handed to me. I'm not a fan, because you take things for granted. You really do, and
your whole perception changes when you're just handed things.
Correct. Yeah, perception's a big deal.
Yeah, very big deal.
It's life.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. So did you guys have a backup plan in case it did fail, or you just all or nothing?
No, so the whole purpose of even coming out to Florida was we were only supposed to come here for 1 year. My father had contacted me and said that he had a job for me at my uncle's company. My uncle's company built churches, like multi-million-dollar churches, and so I was supposed to have a 6-figure job for 1 year so that I could go back to California and start over, because everything was falling apart in California. I had lost my job due to an ulcer bursting, a surgery that I had to have that I had no control. I almost died. I lost my job, and I couldn't find another one, and I had 3 kids that I was raising, and so came out here. Yeah, so came out here for that job, and when I got here, that job was never happening. It was basically, I don't even know why I was told this, but I put my whole life on it, and so what we did and what happened was pure circumstance. I guess that was luck at that point in time. And, I don't think it was my luck, obviously. I think it was the luck of call him the abuser. Because like I said, people that are evil get lucky sometimes.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah, my abuser, same way. That man was a smooth talker out of those courtrooms. He's like a 6-time felon, and in the state of Idaho, I thought it was a federal thing, but in the state of Idaho, once you hit like 3 felonies, you're supposed to be in prison like the rest of your life.
California's the same, yeah.
Yeah, and he's got 6 of them, and he's out right now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, that's crazy to me.
When they spend their life in the system, they learn it. And believe it or not, they're smart. A lot of those people are actually very smart. They just use it for all the wrong reasons. And that's the sad part,
And they get institutionalized too. So that's something that needs to be worked on personally, I think. But
it's
the
free meals
system
and
doesn't
4
help
walls,
with that.
and then they have control. It's a power struggle.
Oh yeah.
A power in there.
Rough.
Not one for me.
We're here, we're alive, we're away from all of that.
Absolutely.
We're thriving.
That's right.
So what kind of environment did you want to create for your shop, like this one right now?
So the environment that I'm going for, obviously, the vibe I'm trying to put out is just comforting. It's peaceful. I don't like drama. I don't like stress. Obviously, it comes with life, right? But try to keep it very minimal here. I'm definitely an open communicator with my entire team, and I have an open door policy. Anything's going wrong in their life personally, please come to me, because honestly, as an artist, if you are going through something mentally, it affects your art. It affects the way you interact with people. I mean, that's human, right? So I'm 100% just want them to be comfortable coming in, so that way the clients are comfortable coming in, because people feel vibes.
Oh yeah.
Can feel
you
tension.
Pick up on energy like
Oh,
that.
you know, you walk into a shop, you feel the energy. You can feel whether it's going to be a negative experience or positive experience.
Absolutely. I know when I walked in here for the first time, it was a light energy, because I'm super sensitive to that stuff. I don't talk about it very often, but Vic knows. Yeah, I didn't feel anything heavy, nothing funky going on. I was like, okay, I'm peaceful here.
People
So
with
it is
trauma,
a good place.
people with trauma become empaths, honestly,
Oh yeah.
because you're constantly trying to be aware of your surroundings. You're constantly trying to protect yourself, and you pick up. It's like a sixth sense. You get it, because it is an internal protection from danger, right? So I understand.
Yeah, I didn't
I have
realize
that, too.
until after trauma. At first, I was like, why do I feel all these things? Why are these things happening? Why do I sense this energy? Why is something telling me don't communicate with this person? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I didn't realize it was a trauma response type of thing.
It is, but it's a blessing in my opinion. I love it. I have it too, and I absolutely wouldn't want it any other way, because it's protected me my whole entire life in most ways, right? Because you also let those certain people in, and I learned as well. As much as I could pick up on energies and I could see people for who they were, that's as long as you were outside my wall. If you were smooth enough to get inside my wall, the closer you were to me, the less I saw. Because I was never looking at you. I was always looking past you. I was protecting you. If you were here in my heart, I was protecting you. And I was always looking outside. And those ones just slipped in, and
they got us.
They got us. Oh man, they got us. Yeah.
They got us good too, y'all. You guys don't even know.
It's the lesson you learn later in life.
Well, I know it happens to the best of us, and that's where I think I was telling you in a personal message, I want to do more like advocacy work for domestic violence and sexual assault victims, just because we've experienced all these different things, and sometimes people don't know how to navigate things after the events happen.
Right.
I think that'd be kind of a cool idea to do some like motivational speaking for that.
I think people need it.
I think your book would be a good one for them to read.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. That was the point. That's the entire point of that book, right? It's not. Yes, it's a book about things that I went through, but it is not a victim book.
No.
In any way. I made sure that it wasn't like, ooh, pity me, feel sorry for me. It's more of, hey, recognize these signs. If you see them, this is, change it. Change your life, change your patterns. Try not to make the same mistakes again. And learn. Just understand that it's a lesson, and the biggest thing is that you don't torture yourself. Because that's one thing I did my whole life, and I'm sure a lot of victims do too, is self-sabotage. Yeah.
That's me.
You get so frustrated with yourself, I think, so angry that you made those choices, that you stayed so long, that you didn't see the signs sooner, and you will hurt yourself more than anybody else ever will. And it's a protection, I think. I think it's a protection. It's like, you know what? Once you've felt that pain, right, you never want to feel it again. And so it's like, you know what? I'm going to put myself through it, because ain't nobody ever going to hurt me like that again.
Yeah.
If it's going to be, it's going to be me doing it to myself, to remind myself that nobody else will ever have that power over me again, ever.
I had that with men for a good while, and even like my current husband, I still struggle to this day just letting him in, just because of everything I've gone through. Like, he knows the abuser. Actually, we all kind of went to high school together.
Right.
He's in a grade above me, but I still struggle to open up. It's just one of those protection things, you know what I mean? It's like, you're not gonna use that against me.
Right.
And
right.
same with like friends and family. Like, I don't let them in fully, but enough to where if they want to try and use my past against me, it's already out there. So.
Right. Well, and that's exactly
Mhm.
why I've always been that way.
Yeah.
And my current ex used to tell me all the time, why do you tell people this? You shouldn't tell them that. Well, realizing what I just recently went through, I understand why he would do that, and it was to have control. He has so many skeletons in his closet. Y'all just wait.
We could
I
go
don't
into
keep
another
skeletons in.
podcast.
Yeah, I don't keep skeletons in my closet because
Same.
skeletons always come out, and people will use that against you. So again, when you're
100%.
doing that self-sabotage thing or that protection, I've always been the first person to tell you my entire life story because what are you gonna do?
Right. It's
What are
already
you
out
gonna
there.
do?
I
It is
already
out
put it
there. Yeah. What are you gonna say to me that's gonna hurt me? What do you have? What do you have? You have nothing over me because guess what? I just gave it all to you, and everybody else knows too.
Mhm.
It gives you zero power over me. I survived it. I'm not embarrassed of it. I can't be embarrassed of it because it will control me,
Absolutely.
and I will not allow anything to control me like that. It
eats you
can't.
alive.
It will eat you alive, and you cannot do that. It happened for a reason. It was a lesson. Learn from the lesson. Move on from the lesson. Try not to let that lesson happen again, right? The definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Done it my whole life. Now I'm changing it up.
Right.
No more insanity, okay?
Took us long enough, but we're here, we're doing it.
You stay crazy to keep from going insane.
Right.
It's really literally the thing.
So, when you were writing this book, what did people around you say when you decided to write?
Nobody knew.
Nobody knew.
Nobody
Interesting.
Nobody knew until it was done. I didn't tell anybody.
Okay, what did people say once you did tell people?
They wanted to read it, obviously. People were curious and wondering what I was going to put in that book. I have a feeling, some people assumed when I did put it out there that it was going to be some kind of attack on my ex or all about him or something that recently happened, especially people locally because that's the only version that they know of me, right? So I made sure it wasn't that because it's not about attacking anybody.
Yeah, I didn't see any attacking in there when I read it.
No, it's not
It
about
was
attacking.
giving perception.
Correct, and perception's huge because it is all about perception, and that's, recently what happened to me too, was a lot of people chose sides and turned against me because their perception was based on what they were told without giving me the opportunity
To
to
defend
even
yourself.
speak. Yep. Yeah, I was never even given that opportunity, so that perception was powerful, and hurtful at the same time, because when you think somebody knows you on a personal level and you let them in, you would think they would know better, depending on, I honestly don't know what, little things that I heard, some of the people, I was like, you really didn't know me then. Like, you didn't try to know me, you didn't want to know me, because the first words out of your mouth would have been, that does not seem like Mama Bear. That does not seem at all like anything that she would do. But they believed it, because they wanted to. That was their perception.
That person was manipulative enough.
Mhm.
I got that understanding not from even reading fully, like at the time, that part of the story, but just like it's the little things that I picked up on, and I was like, oh, you a smooth criminal, you a smooth stalker. Yep, you manipulative, I see you.
Oh, yeah.
Not you, but like
no,
him, yeah.
master manipulator. And that's another thing that I decided, I couldn't be mad at any of those people either, because guess what? I fell for it too. For 10 years, so.
And you were trapped in it too, and they aren't.
Correct, I was trapped, yes, I was trapped, but it was like, I fell for it too, so how can I be mad at anybody else for falling for it? Because I know how smooth he is. And that's the scary part.
It's terrifying.
It is, it really is.
And you don't realize how smooth things are until after you're on your own doing your own thing.
Yeah, when you step out, when you take a look back, and you remember all the red flags you avoided, all the red flags you ignored, all the little voices in your head that were like, this doesn't seem right. But then you replace it with all the excuses, because you made the choice
Or
to give things up and
the
choose
love,
this person.
the protection you have over them.
Right, well, that, and it's a protection of yourself, like why would you choose somebody that bad?
Yeah.
Then that's a direct hit on you, right?
Right.
You chose that person, you brought them into your life, your kid's life, whatever, you did that. So then it's like, ooh, not me, and I would've seen that one coming, I've been
Right.
down this road before, this ain't my first rodeo.
Right, like nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know back then I saw the red flags, but I ignored it because I was just trying to save somebody. That was my Me being naive, I guess, would be the word people have used.
Oh yeah, naive, yeah, absolutely.
Naive, and we all went to high school together. I saw mine struggling, and I was like, hey, I can help you. I can fix you. Nope.
Right, and that's what, good people do, that have had the trauma, that don't wanna see other people hurt like we hurt, right? And that's the thing, it's like, I wanna protect you. Where a narcissist,
Well,
which
they don't care about anything.
and they were also trauma victims, right? But their perception of the trauma was they would rather hurt people than ever, and they're gonna be repeating of that pattern because they didn't have the strength, because it takes strength to heal, and it takes strength to wanna help people and not want them to hurt. They didn't have that strength. They were weak, and they wanna hurt people now. They became their,
their
attackers.
own trauma.
Yeah, they really did. They became their own trauma, and it's sad. It really is. But again, I no longer look at them like people that I can save. I look at them like demons, skinwalkers, whatever you want to call. I don't really care. They're not human. You can't be human and do what you do to people.
Yeah.
You cannot be human.
Absolutely not, especially with the lack of emotion that comes behind.
Right. You can't tell somebody you love them in a way that you do, and then hurt them so deeply. There was never love. There was never love.
No.
That didn't exist. It's a word that was used to control somebody that was seeking love, and that's all they ever wanted in their whole life, was to be loved, and they knew that, so they used it. And that's exactly how they gained control and they gained power.
Absolutely. I know my abuser was he was an abandoned kid, so he had abandonment issues, and then his dad was abusive, and those two, they did drugs together.
Right.
And that's followed from childhood all the way up until adulthood when I was there, and you just saw the history repeating itself.
Most of them have mommy issues because their dads disappeared and they didn't have a dad growing up. They didn't have the father figure to show them how to be a man, and mom struggled to be a single mom, right? And she took her anger of men out on the son, or babied them and made excuses for them their whole life, so they could do no wrong.
Yeah, my abuser was the opposite. His mom left when he was 3, and dad had to raise him. Then he had a bad stepmom, and stepmom was in law enforcement. So
they lose their respect for females. Yeah, it's losing their respect for females, which is just insane to me, that you can just think everybody's the same, because we're not. And then that's the thing that I always look at too. It's like, I've had 4 abusers now, and I don't know. I just not gonna look at everybody else like they're them. I can't do that to myself. That would drive myself freaking crazy.
Right.
You have to give people the benefit of the doubt. You have to.
As much as we don't want to.
As much as you don't want to.
Because I struggle hard with that. I'm just immediately, I see the ick, I have the ick. I don't associate.
Yeah, and
it's hard to give that benefit of the doubt. For me personally, anyway.
Depending on the level of trauma, you could completely shut people out, and that is what I try not to do, because again, I don't know, I try not to do that, and that's just been who I am. And I would recommend, letting people in, because sometimes you might push away
the wrong person.
The right people, I guess,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, true,
You push away the people because you're assuming that perception again of I've seen this before, but maybe they're struggling too, and you might save the right person. Just don't commit your whole life to it. Don't commit your whole soul to it. You gotta count baby steps, right? It's okay for baby steps, and then if you need to step away, step away. But I'll never let anybody in like I have in the past. I don't believe. I guess I could never say never. Every time I say never, life's like, want a bit.
Right.
You use that word again, here we go.
Yeah, life has a way of getting you.
It really does. It really does.
So with all of the experiences and traumas that you've been through, is that how you created your brand and vibe here?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to kind of be a smartass, I guess, to my exes and tell them, that I was divinely protected. Because I had seen, when I left, like I said, their lives just fell apart, and it was something that
Isn't it crazy?
I got to see their karma. Yeah, it was the universe letting me see their karma, letting me know that it was going to be okay, letting me know that I was protecting them and stopping their karma from happening. And bad things would happen. I don't do anything. I don't have to do anything. I just walk away, And so when I had the opportunity to name this shop, after everything that I just went through, which was the hardest thing I've ever gone through in my life, I felt like it just came to me, and she's like, you know what, divinely inked, the angel wings, the protection, you know. Um, I ran to my godparents when all of this went down as the only people I ever trusted in my life, and you know, I had some good conversations. I used to be religious. I used to go to church. It's not that I believe in a higher power. I just don't know what the higher power is.
So you're spiritual, not religious.
Correct. I'm
Okay,
highly
the same way.
spiritual. Yeah, I am extremely
I grew
spiritual.
up in a very religious. My mom
Correct.
had us from Catholic to Pentecostal out of nowhere, and that was
Correct. No, I went
was
to
a
all
little
of them.
weird.
I gave them all a shot. I was in there. I've
Yeah.
read the Bible. I've done it all.
Book
and
of
it's,
Revelations is my favorite.
Right.
I know that from front to back.
right. And if you have read it, then you know it's pretty sick and twisted.
Uh-huh.
It's pretty sick and
That's
twisted.
why I was attracted,
And so
that's why I
it's
was
like,
attracted to it, though.
yes, it's that, and it's like, so when you go and you're praising these things and you're living by these things, you're living by someone picking and choosing from a book that was written by a man. First of all, sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, the fish stories are there, and I mean, it's just human nature to tell a story and then exaggerate that story. So over however many years, could you imagine how many times that story has changed and
So
been
it's been
exaggerated?
rewritten a bunch of times.
Exactly,
It's crazy.
and it gets rewritten, in my opinion, sorry, for control. It is a different kind of control, because when people are broken, they need something to believe in. They need something to feel better, and they turn to religion as saving them, right? They're saving themselves. It's their perception of the situation. It's them seeking out the help. It's them looking for help outside. But at the end, I really truly believe that we save ourselves.
Absolutely.
Because we are the only ones at the end of the day that can hurt, or that can laugh, that all that stuff.
And we can easily be manipulated too by things.
We have the power to do it all within ourselves as individuals. And that's just been my belief. Again, no disrespect to religion. I've been there, I've done that. I'm not against it, I'm not an atheist or anything like that. I do believe in a higher power. I just don't know what it is. I haven't seen anything, right? Grew up very rough.
Yeah.
Been through a lot, so.
Yeah, I know you're not the only one that thinks that too.
Right, and I've not been protected from things, so, you know, it's not where was he or whatever, it's not like that. It's thank you for the blessings that I have had in my life, because I still look at all of that I have been through, quite honestly, as weird as it sounds, as a blessing. Because I'm proud of who I am. I'm happy for who I am. I want to help people, and without going through all of that, I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't have the knowledge. I wouldn't have the wisdom. I wouldn't be able to
have
be.
that sixth sense to be like, let's do this.
Yeah, I couldn't be empathetic. Couldn't say, I've been something very similar and I can maybe help you. And that's what I want to do with my life. So I can't knock everything I went through. And that was really what that book was more or less about. And the reason that I wrote it the way I wrote it was so that people saw that too, right? And that hopefully it empowers them to feel the same way. Don't go out as a victim and make somebody else your victim. Go out and protect them from becoming that victim. Or don't protect them, but help guide them. I guess you can't protect people. I already said that. Guide them. Because most of the time, you just need to know somebody cares. You know, as much as we need to heal ourselves, humans need each other.
Right.
Because if
we
you're
crave
alone somewhere,
that human connection.
yeah, but be careful, because the voices will start going, and there's all, you know, you'll have the struggle of the voices. It's not a good
Just
idea.
Be careful. So what advice would you give someone who wanted to open their own studio or shop, and where would they start?
Do it the right way. Do the apprenticeship. Learn, because I can tell you there is so much to learn. It's, you know, you really shouldn't own your own shop for at least 10 years. 10 solid years of being in the industry, having a solid apprenticeship, and learning everything there is to know. Not just about the industry, but about running a business, right? Because I have seen that before. You know, artists run out because they've been tattooing for 10 years. They think they can, you know, run a shop, but they've also spent 10 years focusing on themselves, making money, and then when they have to actually be in charge of other people, you can see the selfishness and the ego come in. They start feeding themselves and not their people. Well, that's not how that works. It's still a business that needs to run, and these people still need to eat. And you running the business or owning the business, if you don't have any concept of business, it's gonna fail. It really is, because people aren't gonna stay with you. And if people don't stay with you, why do it?
Exactly.
Why do you wanna pay bills?
Running a business is hard. It's really fucking hard.
This is my third shop that I have owned now, and my fifth business that I have ran. So it is. It's. I've had people tell me I make it look easy, but it's what I've done for my whole life.
Right.
So I've
It's just
learned.
what we know how to
Right.
do. You know
I've
what I mean?
learned the lessons, and so
Mhm.
you're gonna have to learn those lessons. They're not easy, but if you're, you really want to do it and you have the drive to do it, but do it the right way, because you're not gonna get the respect. And some people are like, oh, I don't care about that. You should. You really should.
Yeah.
This industry used to be very sacred, and I respect it wholeheartedly. I have done the history. I know all about it, and I love and respect the art. It goes back thousands and thousands of years. Before tattoo machines and all that. It's there, but like respect it. I fully believe in tattoo gods. Okay, and let me tell you right now, they will come for you. If you don't do things the right way, you're not, and stay humble. It's just not gonna work out well for you. Do it right. Do it right.
That's beautiful. Yeah. I agree. Now that I'm thinking about, that's for any industry too, but specifically in the tattoo industry, you guys need to protect your art. So I get why it would be a sacred thing for sure.
It really is. It's lost that over the years, because everybody can just run and get a license and go, if they have the money, go open a shop, and
they'll do it without knowing anything about business.
But anything
crazy.
about business, they do it not knowing anything about tattooing.
Mhm.
They really don't. They're like, I'm self-taught, and it's like, well, that's great, but like, and maybe you are a natural artist, but that doesn't mean you can't teach people under you then, because just because you're a natural artist and you understand it doesn't mean you're a good teacher.
Right.
And there's 1,000 different things that you need to learn about tattooing. There's not one little trick. There's 1,000.
Yeah, it's not a one size fits all thing.
Yeah, and you never stop learning. I don't care if you've been in this industry for 20 years. If you ever stop learning, you shouldn't be here, because it's always evolving.
Open that mind back up, buddy.
Yeah, be humble. Turn off the
Absolutely.
ego, stay humble, and it can go back to being sacred again.
Yeah. I feel like ego and greed are like two of the biggest icks in this world.
Yeah, a lot of people get into it for all the wrong reasons too. Drugs, women, whatever they see on TV. It gives people bad taste of the industry too. It's taken a while to take it out of the biker gangs, and bad people get tattoos. It's prison and biker gangs. It's never been about that.
Yeah,
It was a short period that they threw that in, because people were like, tattoos are bad. It's perception, right? It goes back to perception. Don't forget.
Everything goes back to perception.
It really does, and that was what I learned the most about life. Is 100%. When I got it tattooed on my fingers 5 years ago, just had this feeling I needed this word perception tattooed on my fingers, and I had every single artist that worked for me draw me one of the letters, because I wanted their perception of each one of those letters on my hand, and I got it tattooed. And
awesome.
Looking back, it's crazy, because those are all the people that I lost. All of them.
Wow.
One of these people.
That's wild.
I lost them all. And now their letters stay with me. And then I wrote the book, because it was like, that's so weird. That's the universe. It's like, I pre-saw things I didn't know 5 years ago before they happened. And it's just weird how things go back, right? It's a trip.
Oh, for sure. So what mistakes did you guys make early on in your first shop that taught you the most coming into opening your own?
Just bringing people in, the wrong people in.
Okay.
Not really doing the right due diligence, thinking, okay, well, we need artists so we can pay the bills and make the money, and listening to stories basically, and not paying attention or doing the right homework of who they actually were in the industry and what they brought. And it was rough. It was rough for a while. For a few years, we ended up with quite a few shit shows, and it wasn't fun, because that in itself, it takes one person to become poison to an entire shop.
Absolutely.
Really quick. And I can see that now. It took me a while, but now I can usually see if there's poison starting to spread I know who's spreading it, I know where it's coming from, and I will eliminate it because it's not fair to everybody else, and that's not why you should be here.
Absolutely. I know I've talked to a couple other artists and another shop owner who they've lost friends in the industry because of ick things. Cancerous things. I won't go into details of their story, but
Right.
yeah, the women, the drugs, things like that, just all bad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
All bad.
that's where I said the ego, and the reason they get into it is the wrong reasons, and then you know they spread. I love the art, and I love this, and I love that. Well, that's, and then as you watch them, it's like, that's not why you're here. That's not why you're here. You're here because you think you're gonna make all this money and drive around frickin' a Porsche, and, you know, rip people off, and you know, basically assault women in your chair.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
disgusting.
yeah. One of the shop owners in this area has told me a story about how he's lost a lot of friends because of that.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, I don't play that mess.
No,
Not in his shop.
Who wants to, you know, people get tattoos as a form of therapy. You know, some of them just like the art, you know,
Some of
but
us go in
most
to feel something too, and we don't want to be assaulted.
Correct. You come in and you're getting something permanent on your body. You're trying to build trust with the person that's doing it, right? And if that person violates that trust,
Game over.
Game over. It should be. But some people, again, that haven't gotten the wisdom or are the ones that the narcissists seek out, they're quiet and then it traumatizes them. They'll never go to another shop again. Or they will badmouth it, or they'll tell all their friends, you know. When something bad happens, when something bad happens, you tell at least 10 of your friends. You don't tell people when something good happens. It's just not human nature. It's drama, I guess, which I don't like, but it tends to be human nature. Like, you know, this happened. That spreads way faster than I had a great experience for some reason. That's what I want to do, is spread positivity, not negativity. Let's start talking about the good things.
Stop with this cancer or cancel culture crap.
Oh, please.
It bugs the crap
I
out
can't
of me.
stand it. It's
At this point, I'm like, how many times have I been canceled? What are you gonna do now?
Yeah.
It's already happened to me.
Right.
Like, bro, chill. Can we just not? Can we like talk about the positive things that have happened?
Yeah, it's an age thing too. You know, you grow up a certain era, right? And you grew up in an era where everybody didn't get a freaking trophy. Either you were good at it or you're not. I mean, move on to something you're good at. You don't deserve a trophy. I'm sorry, but you don't. And feelings, everybody gets their feelings hurt.
Trophy.
Yeah, you don't. Really.
Yeah, we're not gonna get in that one.
The point of getting your feelings hurt is to teach you how to be freaking tough, because life is not going to be easy on you. So if you are protecting your child, oh my God, my feelings are hurt, you know, or military needs timeouts. The person in the other country with the gun, they don't give a shit if you need a timeout. Okay, they really don't. They're there to kill you, and that's what they're trained to do their whole life. So either you're in the right spot or you're not, and it's just people are
interesting
nowadays. It breaks my heart.
Yeah, I'm in a weird era where like, so I'm a '90s baby where I'm like in between thick skin and the sensitivity stuff happening right now.
Right.
And it's like hard to balance them both, especially when you start having kids, because you know us, like the old school parents, they just beat our asses.
Right. They were
know.
allowed to do that, and now it's like, I'll go to jail.
Yeah,
I'll call the cops on you.
Yeah, now we all have to
If you
find
get
like
to
the
that
balance
phone.
with everything. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I'm an 80s baby, so like
I'm 93. I'm like right there.
Yeah.
But I still like the more old school way because it's tougher and it gave me thicker skin than if I had the gentle parenting thing. I don't feel like I'd be the same person.
Yeah, I get
and the
that.
same values, they'd be totally different.
I feel like they skip generations, right? Like my parents in my era for the 80s, our parents were so lackadaisy. They were from the 60s and 70s. They partied. Their parents were super strict, so they refused to be strict. And then they had us, who then we were supposed to be strict. But like some of these kids nowadays, they're actually my kids' age, you know, between 20 and 25. And I'm like, what did we do wrong? What did we do? Because you guys are little assholes. I want to tell you, you need to quit. And then the ones after them, I didn't think it could get worse. I didn't think it could get worse. It got worse.
It's interesting. It's very.
I thought we were gonna go. You know, it didn't do what it normally does, where it's the every other. It's steadily getting worse because the younger generation that doesn't understand life are the ones being in control of voting, and you know whatever they're doing with the social media, they can reach bullies. Yeah,
big bullies, and it irritates me. We see it on our local groups all the time. Bullying is like the first instinct. It's crazy, and I'm like, can we just not just let things be?
And bullies can only have the power if you let them. They can
Exactly.
only be a bully if they're looking for a reaction.
Yep.
If you don't give them that reaction, they lose their power. They'll move
Exactly.
on, and maybe they'll make some change too. You know, don't give them the power. Turn off the feelings a little bit, because first of all, they're strangers. What the hell does their opinion matter?
Right.
They didn't give birth to you. They don't pay your bills. They don't put food on your table. What do you care what they think? Literally.
Exactly. Especially for a business owner, I struggle with it. Because it's like people try and bully me into silence when they don't like something, but then at the same time, I have to stand my ground as a business owner.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But I still struggle because I know how quick, like, certain areas just cancel people.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I've been canceled on TikTok with my beauty industry stuff.
Really?
Because a girl wanted to cancel her appointments, and I said okay, and then I did it, and it was a big thing, and then she said, oh well, so and so, my beauty business company, canceled on me like a week before the wedding. No, you did, and I got text messages to prove it.
Right.
And then you put the proof out there, and they still don't care. So
Right.
at that point, I was just like, whatever.
Right. You have to build that
Yeah.
first, you know.
And then I've had girls just completely annihilate my Google page. I had to take it down because they had a bad experience because they messed up their own timeline. And I was like, you know.
And those people are jealous, is what they are.
Absolutely.
And it's haters, and that sucks.
Yeah.
That, you know, people are willing to take it that far. They're willing to build, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I've always looked at it like, if someone's trying to build an entire posse against me, then it's really because, like, they fear me.